I'm Stephen John Drew from the official GonnaGeek.com show, a weekly geek news podcast that is a part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other awesome geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 421 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. And I have the wrong mic on going out to Twitch. How the hell
Welcome to technical difficulties, and a happy Sunday morning to you too.
No, I have the right one. I was looking at the wrong thing. But yeah, we'll leave that in there because this is just accurate for us that we would think that we had the wrong shit turned on. Because, hey, that's how life goes sometimes. I was having a rough start this morning to get things working, and they all started working right before the show. But hey, good news. That means we're here. We're here for internet horseshit shenanigans, as we put it. I'm Chris. Joining me today, my good friend, Mr. Anthony Bachman.
Good morning, fuckers.
And at some point, we assume that Willie will be here. So until he gets here, we'll just put his picture up so that we remember who he is. This is Willie Nelson. In his own words, he was an ugly fucking child.
I was an ugly fucking child.
That's right. So Willie may not be here in person, but he's here with us in spirit, and I think we may have enough buttons on the soundboard that we can make it be like he's here. So Willie, how are you feeling today?
This guy's creepy.
Well, it seems accurate. Seems pretty accurate. I'm sure I have other buttons we could go to, but we're not going to overplay our hand on that one. Willie will be here at some point, we think. We sent him a couple texts, and said, hey, just hop on the call, so he may hop on at some point this week, and feel free to bust his balls when he does accordingly, because that's how we roll around here with our unprofessional behavior on the internet. Thank you, Draftsman, for that buzzword right there. I appreciate it.
We are professional unprofessionals, yes.
Professionally unprofessional. Yes, this is us. Now NBC's going to sue us because I used their TV show name by accident. Oops.
Wait, which one?
This Is Us.
Oh. I don't know. We didn't make anybody cry, so I think there's an argument that it's not the same use of the term.
I know how we can make people cry. I mean, this is real simple. All we have to do is bring this guy back.
I'm not a savage. I'm just creepy.
Or we can make Bachman cry by hitting this bump with Willie.
Oh, sensual. Oh, yeah.
Gross.
You don't like sensual Willie?
AFB, it makes me feel wet in the wrong way.
Ew.
That's why it's so bad.
Ew, that was gross.
Exactly.
That was.
So stop it. Oh, did Chris just throw up a little in his mouth? That's the type of Sunday morning we're having today.
No, I burped and tasted my scrambled eggs, and it was uncomfortable.
Wait, 421? I thought this was 422.
I thought this was 421. Oh, it is 422.
420 was New Marvel Phase 4. 421 was Invincible
This is
Trailer.
how professional we are.
That's
Episode
right.
422 today, entitled Professionally Unprofessional. Thank you, Draftsman, for that catchphrase.
Unprofessional.
Yes, I'm totally on top of things today, and nothing has slipped through the cracks at all in regards to setting up this call or this live stream.
And this is why it's important that I keep notes. My little notepad with a little number and what my news of the week was.
Yeah.
High tech, and professional. My notebook.
It's okay. I have a bunch of little notepads. I think I'm up to 3 of them now. These little green notepads that I keep that are all my edit points or sounds that I need to pull out. Now, as to where the first one went, I'm not sure, but I think... Yeah, I've got one right here that is episodes 124 through 288, so I need to find the other notepad that comes after that. But it is just full of time codes and things I need to do. This one's in pencil for some reason. And for some reason on episode 248 we played Porn or Pony, it says here. Let's see. Episode 257 I had 8 edit points, which meant I hated life. Episode 273, I had no edit points, but 1 clip point. So I've got the information here. I was evidently keeping score of some kind of game in episode 281 that Naki won. I don't know what the game was, if anyone remembers, but...
Yeah, I can go back page after page after page. Let's see. Yeah, because I think this is the very first one where I was a guest, and I had like an entire page of notes. And then a couple pages after that, it gets down to where I started just doing one line for each. That starts at episode 166.
Nice.
Yeah, all in one big spiral notebook. Dear Lord. So many notes, so many little stories, so much bullshit and shenanigans on
I just wonder how many hours of my life have gone into podcasting at this point in time. It's been
I'm going to say more than 4.
It's been a lot. I mean, we're up to 400 some odd episodes of this, and early episodes of this were 2+ hours before we kind of narrowed it down to an hour and 15, and it's now kind of holding steady at an hour and a half-ish. So that's a lot of content.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably done almost 1,000 hours just of this show alone.
Oh, probably.
Plus, you've got the Starling Tribune, Gonna Geek. Like, if you start adding all the other ones,
I should look.
I'll bet you're getting up to like at least 1,500 hours.
Let me look at my Podchaser. It should be on there, assuming I'm logged in.
Oh, does it track everything?
Well, I have a page for myself on Podchaser, which is all of my podcast appearances. It's not accurate because Gonna Geek doesn't have all the episodes, but according to Podchaser, I have 993 appearances, but it only has 195 of the 350 Gonna Geek episodes on it. So let's see. We would be at 22 episodes today of ATGN, 348 of Gonna Geek, 262 of Starling Tribune, 58 of Nerd Alert News before I canceled it, and then 1, 2, 3, and then probably about 20 different guest appearances in places. I've spent way too much time on this hobby, it would appear.
Well, it depends. Are you still having fun?
Most of the time.
All right. I wouldn't say it's not too much time. Then again, you're also not paying your mortgage with it. Because if you're paying your mortgage with it, then that's not even enough time. But,
if I was paying my mortgage with this show, we would be doing a lot of things differently.
We'd show up on time.
Yeah, we'd show up on time and everyone would be here, and there'd be a lot more production value going into it.
I don't know. Right now, we're already fucking topping out on what most podcasts put out on the air at this point.
I suppose so. For those that were interested, there in the chat room right now, the Podchaser page I was referencing, I dropped in there, which is Podchaser's another website where you can go and track like podcasts and stuff like that, but you can also make pages for podcasters that kind of show everything they've done or any like guest appearances and stuff. So you could, in theory, say, follow Steven Jonger's Podchaser page, and then anytime he appeared on something, you would be notified or could find out.
But what if no one's like made an account for you?
Well, you can
Like,
create
you just
one
not
for
exist
yourself.
in there?
Yeah, like mine didn't exist until I created one for me. And then claimed ownership of a few things. So according to this, my total airtime... Oh, there we go. Total airtime, which is wrong because it doesn't have all the Gonna Geek show in there, is 1 month, 2 weeks of airtime.
Oh, dear God.
18 podcasts. But for some reason, the Gonna Geek show isn't incrementing correctly. And I don't think this has some of my guest appearances on the Fanboy... Oh, no, it does have it. I had 13 guest appearances on the Fanboy Buzz. I didn't know I had that many. Yeah, it's fun stuff. So you can always go follow your favorite podcaster on there. That would be me. No, I'm just kidding. In all seriousness, though, reviews and stuff on Podchaser are really helpful to folks as well.
Nice. I'll have to check that one out. I don't think I'd heard of that one before.
I try to keep my creator page fairly updated just because it's more a personal thing.
I just worry about updating my IMDb page.
I don't have an IMDb page.
I have one because I have a producer credit for the documentary Girls Make Comics because I backed it on Kickstarter.
Okay.
So technically Anthony Bachman is a producer on IMDb because I helped produce a documentary. Which was a really good documentary. It's about the history of women in comics that a lot of people didn't know about.
Interesting. The things Willie's missing out on. We should make a Podchaser page and say he's just been on all these porn casts. Make him the porn king. No, it actually goes and tries to...
Willie.
Yeah, it tries to check confirmation and things like that on it, too. It's a pain in the ass getting it set up, from what I remember. I don't know. But now everyone knows. And
See, I thought about doing mine. Now I'm not sure.
Effort?
I don't know. Effort.
It took probably about 30, 40 minutes to get it all set up and search things. And then you had to wait for them to approve the fact that, yes, you're on this podcast that you've been on for multiple years and stuff like that. And then the real problem is if you're on a podcast that is pod faded and is no longer available online, there's really no way to link it to your account. So that one's tough.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, I hosted, 170 episodes of the Next Element podcast, but I don't think that exists anywhere online anymore. So there's no proof of it.
I mean, if you still had the episodes, Anchor.fm is free. You could put them all up on Anchor in an archive state, basically, and post date them and have them available again, I guess. If you really wanted them all out there still.
Yeah, which I don't think I really do. So there was a couple of funny episodes me and Colin did, but a lot of it was just me rambling. I don't know. I think I still have them all on one of my drives, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, like for instance, Nerd Alert News, I let the domain and the page lapse before I had a chance to remap it or whatever. So at some point in time, if I want it back up, I'll toss them all on Anchor. It's only 52 episodes, but it really wasn't worth paying for a Podbean page $100 a year to keep 52 episodes up there. That the nature of that show was all, current events and stuff like that. So nobody's really going to care about something I thought in 2016 at this point in time, probably.
Yeah, current events ones, they fall off a little bit faster because it's it doesn't have the staying power.
Right. It's not like it was a storytelling show or an interview show or something like that.
Unlike All Things Good and Nerdy, because we're fucking funny forever.
Well, we think we're funny.
Yeah, well.
Sometimes,
make me laugh.
Sometimes we're funny. Most times we just think we're funny.
That's good enough for me.
And that's when we just go to this guy.
This guy's creepy.
One Willie Nelson. He'll be here eventually, we hope. If not, we'll just keep blowing up his cell phone and see what happens. Just be like, Willie, 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 Willie.
He was probably just up until 4 a.m. playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Or Jackbox.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't see a go live notification last night, so I don't know if he did a late night.
If he was on his mom's hillbilly dial up instead of his own hillbilly dial up, he might have had a better. He was probably playing some.
Definitely possible.
I don't know. I know nothing. All I know.
We all know nothing.
It's 11:30 my time, and I'm already tired and want to go to bed, and I still have chores to do and groceries to go get, and I'm going, adulting.
That just means it's time to play the bump.
I guess it is time to play the bump. I didn't have it queued up yet, so shit. I guess it's time to play the bump.
There I go.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
Welcome to the News of the Week. It's that part of the show where we run down in our minds what is some of the most interesting geeky and or nerdy news to have cropped up here in the past week and share it with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date. And sometimes we have Willie for this news, but not today, and I'm not going to hit a button to bump it, but I thought about it. I did think about it, because mature. I'm very mature. No, we will roll...
Mature and adult-like.
Adult-like, yes. So we will roll into the news. I'll start first. This is a game that if you follow me on Twitter or friended me on Facebook, you've probably seen me talking about a lot because I've been trying to get people to play it. Among Us. It's a fun game that's been out since 2018. That the popularity has all of a sudden just spiked in the last few months, and everyone is playing it. I found a cool news story over on The Verge. It said Among Us isn't just blowing up on Twitch, it is also dominating mobile gaming. What does that mean? It was the top game in the App Store and Google Play Store in Q3. It's pretty popular. So we do know Among Us has been one of the biggest games of the year. There is a group or a site called Sensor Tower that gives an idea of just how huge it was on mobile, being the top game on both iOS, App Store, and Google Play in Q3 2020, according to their data. They also estimate that Among Us, which was first released in 2018, passed 100 million downloads just in Q3 2020, which eclipses the more than 68 million downloads for the next highest downloaded game, My Talking Tom Friends. I've never heard of this My Talking Tom Friends, but that doesn't really mean much. So this probably will be popular for a while going forward because, as a lot of us have found out, it's a really fun game to play with folks. On PC, it's a $4.99 purchase on Steam, which I think is more than worth it. But if you want to play Among Us on iOS or Android, it is a free download. It is ad supported. So whenever you finish a game, you'll be made to watch an ad of some kind, and then you'll get put back in the lobby again to play. And it is 99.9% the same game. The trade-off is if you're playing on your phone or tablet, you have to use touchscreen controls, whereas if you're playing on PC, you can use a combination of mouse and keyboard controls, which I think are probably a bit easier to work with. But the popularity of this game, it's insane right now. Like we said, it's at the top of the App Store and Google Play Store charts. On PC, it's currently the 4th most played game on Steam. The games ahead of it are Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, and PUBG. So it is beating Fortnite right now on Twitch.
See, and I always go to my categories we think you'll like because it's usually games that I played on Twitch to look at popularity of stuff. Because like I laugh about the fact like Anthem will have like 10 viewers,
right?
Not 10,000 viewers, 10 single viewers. But like right now, because I played Dead by Daylight on there, I played Apex on my computer. Dead by Daylight has 52,000 people viewing Dead by Daylight games. Apex has 64,000. So like those are solid standard games. Friggin' Fall Guys has fallen off. It's down to 12,000, but that's still, a fair amount.
Right.
Watching, beans fall around. Phasmophobia, the new horror game where you're the ghost inspectors that's been really crazy, is up to 151,000. But yeah, Among Us, like one of the cheapest games in the Steam library, there's 101,000 people watching people play Among Us on Twitch right now.
And it is really fun to watch. Like I've gone on and watched people play just because it's really cool. Like some of the neatest gameplay I've seen of it was Willie and I have talked about a channel called Corridor Digital, Corridor Crew. They also have a gaming channel called Node where they played this a lot. But some of the most fun for me has been watching like professional wrestlers have been playing. Like Evil Uno was playing with a bunch of AEW wrestlers a few different times. And it was so much fun to listen to them all accuse each other of being the killer. And WWE wrestlers were doing it too. It's been really fun kind of just watching people play this game. And then the nice thing is you're trying to guess along with them who the killer is and things like that. And trying not to be someone who goes between chat rooms to spoil things, because there are some chat rooms where people will be like, oh, they're playing with this other personality. Let me go on their stream and see if they're the imposter, who then try and spoil it and ruin it. That's kind of a dick move. Don't do it. But it's incredibly popular on Twitch. What is it? They said up 650% in hours watched from July to August. It also led to a huge spike in downloads of Discord for mobile as well, because everyone's using Discord to do voice chat to play the game, which is how we've been playing as well. According to TheVerge.com, Discord hit a lifetime high for downloads every day since September 5th for new user acquisition. The game so lots of people downloading Discord as well to be able to play this game.
So yeah, that's a lot of So it's you said it was a lifetime, the highest increase in Discord downloads?
It says here it hit a lifetime high for downloads every day since September 5th. And there is a chart here that is pretty much showing the number of downloads. And the most recent entry was 900,000 downloads on the 27th of September.
Wow, so they had almost 1 million downloads in a single day of new people joining Discords. That's crazy. Yeah, because if that's happening every day to where you're getting 1 million new people on your site, like, holy buckets.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like... Now, Willie has been doing a different method, which is he found a group on PlayStation Network, everyone who's on PlayStation Network who wants to play. Now, granted, it's not on PlayStation, but they're using PlayStation Chat to play. The problem that we run into is, like we mentioned, some people play mobile, some people play on PC. The best way to sync up and allow everyone to play is a multi-platform chat tool like Discord. I mean, you could use Skype, you could use WhatsApp, but Discord's the easiest thing to do. And from a streamer perspective, for people who want to stream this online, Discord integrates pretty well with Twitch.
Yeah, Discord goes right through with no problem. Plus, we found the problem on Jackbox, Friday night, that if you're playing a game like I was on my PC with my PlayStation Network headset on, and we were in a PlayStation Network voice group friend chat thing now because we don't know what the fuck to call it because they fucked it all up.
Whatever
But
party chat is now.
Yeah, whatever party chat is now. After an hour, my PlayStation turned off because I wasn't actually playing a game on my PlayStation. So yeah, that's a problem you don't have on Discord.
Yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised of how well Discord worked to create a chat room, have a place where you could toss in play codes and things like that. It's been really fun. And like we mentioned, we'll get more into it at the end of the show. We've been playing it a lot. We played twice last week with a group of people, and it's been a lot of fun. And when we're living this pandemic life right now, this I've found just watching and now getting to play on a more regular basis is a really fun way to get to interact with people when you can't actually go out and interact with people. You're still getting that social itch of having conversations with folks. It's a lot of fun because you start throwing wild accusations back and forth and trying to figure out who's been lying to you, or in some cases, you have to throw out those accusations to try and survive so nobody kills you because you've been killing everyone. But it's a lot of fun just getting that social period. We played 2 hours, or played two 2-hour sessions this last week, and it was a ton of fun. I understand why so many people enjoy this game. And for the cost, $5, I've totally gotten $5 worth of fun out of this game. So it's
either one of
blast.
those one nights was worth the $5 I spent buying it on Steam.
Yeah. It's a blast. And stay tuned because we'll probably try and do some more Among Us nights coming up. I think Tuesdays and Thursdays, for anyone who's watching live right now, is probably the plans. Just stay tuned to our Anthony and I's social media. We'll tweet things out about it. We'll probably put something on the podcast feed about it too. But yeah, we'll keep playing.
I've been posting on the Discord for Kami Gaming, so it's been going up there, and you've been posting it on Gonna Geek's Discord, so it's hitting at least 2 Discords.
Yeah, so we'll have a group. We'll get some groups back together again. So if anyone who's watching or listening now wants to play Among Us with us, just stay tuned to our social medias. This is not me trying to shamelessly get you to follow me on social media. If you don't follow me, that's fine too. Just go occasionally and see if we're saying anything about an upcoming game. Anyone's welcome to come play with us.
Yeah, I mean, and the only real problem on Discord that it has is when we have 10 people trying to talk at the same time, but that's not a problem that's fixed by any online chat system. So when there's 10 people in a game, it's going to be hard to understand who's talking when.
Yes. I mean, there is a chat room built into the game, which works if you're not playing with a group of people you know, but it's far easier and far more fun just to hook up your microphone and go into a Discord chat and talk to people.
Yeah. Especially since it's free. Yeah. It's not like you have to pay to go on Discord. You don't have to pay to be in the voice chat. It's all free. It's just, an app you have to put on your phone or an app you can put on your PC. Yeah, it's easy to do. Like it's not difficult to get onto a Discord.
It also is a web application. You don't have to download the application on your computer, but if you are streaming it like Anthony and I have been doing, it's a lot easier to download the application because then you can make hotkeys to mute just your microphone on Discord chat so you can keep talking to the folks on Twitch. So
because I was having trouble with it just on the URL, which is where my computer, when I turn it on, it opens up my Google Mail and it opens up my Discord. And so I'm just so used to having that there. I was like, why can I not set hotkeys? Like, what is going on? It's like, you need the actual app. And yeah, now it's super easy.
Yep. It's given me a greater appreciation for Discord because most of what I've used it for prior to playing Among Us was the Gonna Geek one to chat with people on occasion and my Pokemon Go local Discord server so that we could coordinate raids. And seeing as we've been in a pandemic since March and I can't really go out and do Pokemon raids, I haven't really been on the Pokemon Go Discord server that much.
Yeah, gathering groups of people like around a Pokestop somewhere does not sound healthy right now.
Well, I mean, they have remote raids and stuff like that, but I haven't really played with it that much. I did do Community Day yesterday and catch a bunch of Charizards, or Charmanders, rather.
Nice. Yeah, I got to figure, COVID's probably hurting that game a lot after it had done so much to get people up and active and out of their houses for playing a game.
They've pivoted a lot to be able to make it so that they've got remote raid passes now and they've upped spawn rates and they're giving out free Pokeballs and stuff every day and things like that to keep people playing. So they've done a pretty good job with that game. I would say probably that the Harry Potter version of Pokemon Go, the pandemic probably killed it, but my interest had died off on that long before the pandemic started though. What is it? The World of Wizards or something like that. It was interesting, but Pokemon's more interesting than Harry Potter wizard battling that wasn't super fun once you started doing it. Come at me, Harry Potter World of Wizard people.
Because it didn't give you a wand, and you need a wand.
I mean, I've got one upstairs. I can go get it. I picked it up in Orlando on my honeymoon.
Digital Pokeballs and a digital wand are definitely not the same thing. you just throw the Pokeball. Like, that works.
It's
But
true.
like, you swing a wand. Like, no.
I'm out. I'm out. What do you got for your news, Anthony?
Two little things. So the first one is a quick little pop-up article, which is funny because like, was it founder of Bleeding Cool, Rich Johnson, put it up, and I love it because he put up this article like 2 hours ago, and it has a grammatical error because people are more interested in being first than being correct.
This is accurate.
And, yeah, that shit just makes me laugh. At least for a big chunk of it, 2021 and 2021 is returnable. So he meant at least, but he wrote the word it, and so spell check doesn't catch it because it's a word. But he put out an article, DC Comics will make all of their 5G future state comics returnable. Comics being returnable has always been a problem in the direct market because they order stuff basically 3 months ahead of time to make sure the books get done on time. And so solicitations go out super early. Comic book stores order stuff 3 months before they get it. And then, here's the stack of 80 copies of this comic that they ordered. And then all of a sudden, like, that artist said something stupid on social media and now they're being canceled. Or, something happened and nobody's digging that story. And the comic book store's sitting there on 40 copies of that book that they can't sell and they just sit on the shelf. And so one of the big problems of the direct market is that books like that haven't been returnable. So with all the changes post-COVID in the new direct market with new distributors coming into the business and new changes to how comics are being done, a lot of the companies, Image Comics, Boom Studios, IDW, and Dynamite are extending their returnable offers to comic book stores, allowing retailers to order their books in confidence, able to return them if they don't sell. Other publishers like Vault Comics make specific titles returnable, especially on launch. But DC and Marvel, of course, have been the two kind of dragging their feet on it because they put the most books out every month. If a store orders $2,000 worth of DC and Marvel books and then returns $2,000 worth of DC and Marvel books, DC and Marvel is just out that money. Like, they get the books back, and as far as I know, they're just going to a shred bin. Like, they're not keeping them. They don't want them. So, when they do like big things like the New 52, like when it all came out, like the whole line is returnable because it's like, I think they give them like 60 days. But like during the 2 months of this event, if you don't like it, send it back. We'll give you your money back. And so that makes it to where shops are more likely to order larger quantities of books, put them up on shelves, give people a chance at them, then they send them back. So DC has announced that the whole new setup for the 5G system, which I guess is the new phase, is going to be all the books will be returnable to help help with profits, hopefully help with retailers to be able to put them on shelves. See, it says, all DC future state titles will be solicited with full returnability throughout the 2-month event. So comic book stores can order it, and then during the 60 days of the event, if they don't sell, they can send them back. And just what? Yeah, I said, and for those that are, for those that are. That's
grammar.
Yeah. For those that are, this will be the big test for... Oh, I guess it means for those that are returned, this will be the big test for UCS comic distributors and Lunar Distribution. And then it says, can they handle bigger... So if they can handle big returns as well as distributing comics, what sort of state will the future be in the future? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, bunch of bad grammar from Rich Johnson, but you got the point across. DC's going to be returning, but it's a question of, will the two new distributors be able to handle it? And then I also wanted to look up, there was another thing about that where apparently those are the names of the two new companies that popped up for distributing comics, which is Lunar Distribution and UCS Comic Distributors. And the best thing about this article is it says, so who are Lunar Distribution and UCS? And then spoiler, it's Midtown Comics and Discount Comic Book Service. So Midtown Comics is basically so big that they're actually running distribution out of their store because they're a giant, got a giant floor space in Manhattan, and I think they're one of the stores that isn't allowed to open again yet. So they're putting that area to work. Just like I know Golden Apple basically bought a warehouse in LA, and they've just been running their comic book shop out of that warehouse because the books come in, the people that work at Golden Apple are inside that warehouse. That's their new workspace. So it's not a publicly open place so that they can go to work there, put comics in packages, and mail them out to their customers. So it looks like Midtown's doing the same. And then now Lunar Distribution out of Illinois is Discount Comic Book Service, which was the one company that was kind of like biting on Diamond's heels and getting some of their profits for actually sending comics out where you could order from DCS, and it was cool because you could choose to have your books monthly, I think twice a month, like every other Wednesday, or you could get a monthly shipment where it would just be all your books from the month would show up in one box. And they pulled your books just like a comic book store, but they shipped them to you. And then theirs was awesome because they actually do it with a foam infill. So they would pack all your comics and then cover them and then fill the rest of the box with like a liquid foam that then filled the rest of the box so that your books didn't shake and get destroyed. Because one of the biggest problems, like if you're sending loose comic books in the mail, which this happened all the time with Diamond, especially when I worked at Captain Comics, we'd open up a box and half the books in there would be ruined because they're getting kicked around, by the different, UPS or USPS, different members of the Postal Service on the way to the store. And sometimes, they would just had the shit kicked out of them. So you open up a box, it's like, oh, hey, the top 50 comics here are worthless and we have to send them back. DCBS did a really good job of like fixing that to where I know I ordered a couple of different like just boxes of comics from them on sales with trade paperbacks and stuff. Everything that showed up, like it was boxed and handled like it had a statue in it. Like it was amazing how well they packaged those. But yeah, so different changes in the comic book industry. They're trying to figure out how to work through this whole COVID thing. The big stores, are trying to keep themselves afloat. I know my local store is doing their best. It's still it's card games and Pokemon and Magic is a big chunk of what they're selling, and they're still doing like if people want they can come up and get car side service. So you pay for your stuff over the phone. They run your card over the phone, and one of the comic book employees, a captain, will bring your books out to you if you don't want to come inside.
Yeah, my local shop was doing that too.
Yeah. And they still have the giant bottle of Purell when you first walk in. It says, scrub your hands, keep your mask on. And so, it's I think, and I want to say like the current limit right now is they don't let more than 10 people in the store. So yeah, trying to keep it socially distant in stores that usually have little kids running around, is a difficult thing to do, but we seem to be handling it okay so far. Yeah, it's a new world for comic book stores. And then my other news story was there was a little tiny update to a game that me and Willie have been quite fond of so far this year called the Ghost of Tsushima. And by little tiny update version 1.1, I mean they added an entire another fucking game, like for free. The DLC is a whole nother game. It's amazing. So they were adding in a multiplayer is what we were told. So now it's Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Features 2-player story missions and 4-player survival missions, as well as raid that will be released in the weeks following launch, because right now the raid's not available. It says, after you download version 1.1 of Ghost of Tsushima, you can visit the PlayStation Store from your PS4 to download a free unlock for Ghost of Tsushima Legends, which, was weird. So Ghost of Tsushima had an update, and then the update went in, and then when you went to click on the Legends mode, it took you to the PlayStation Store and tells you to download the Legends mode, and literally as soon as you click on it, it just starts the game.
Interesting.
So,
I guess it's just a licensing thing that they had to make sure you have the proper license to do it.
Maybe
so it probably applied a license to your system.
Yeah, because I guess it is a separate name. It's Ghost of Tsushima Legends. So I mean, technically, it is a second game that they gave us for free. Because we had to go to the PlayStation Store and I guess buy that free game. But yeah. It's awesome. You play one of 4 versions of the legendary characters that Jin heard stories about through the Ghost of Tsushima game. So you have a samurai, you have a hunter, which is the bowman, you have a ronin, which they made kind of the medic. They can res people easier and call forth animals, and then you have the assassin, which is the full-on ninja character. You play one of those 4, and it's a beautiful update. I've never seen something so fast come out on a game that was already gorgeous. Like Ghost of Tsushima is so much fun. I'm still loving it. I've been slow playing the hell out of it because I don't really want to finish it. And now I'm kind of ready to go because I've been sitting playing around in I'm in chapter 2. It's a 3-part story and I'm in the second part. I wasn't finishing it because I didn't want to be done with it, but now they've added this and they also added New Game Plus. So once I get done, I can just keep going. And so I'm ready to finish it now. So I'm gonna be working on finishing Ghosts pretty quick. But yeah, the new intro you get goes in the storyteller is telling you the story of all these badass legends that you're playing, and then it takes you into a version of some of the stuff you've seen in Ghost of Tsushima, like areas of the map and stuff where you do these missions. but you're going in and out of these like demon gates, and it's just this crazy artwork, all this design stuff. Like these, there's one where it's like a story of two twins that were kidnapped, and you end up tracking down this merchant, and you're killing these Oni demons that are like kidnapping people, and like they kidnap these children, and when you end up catching up to the cart that this merchant has, like the box in the back of the cart is filled with beating hearts.
Oh, jeez.
And like it's just this crazy like demonic world. Like it's a perfect update for Halloween, because some of the scenes you're running through, like you're still dressed up, you're still playing like a samurai or a ninja or something that's very fitting in the Ghost of Tsushima world, but like you're running through a slasher horror film. Like some of these scenes look like they're straight out of Hellraiser. There's one of the maps we were on where there were just giant hearts in the sky beating and pulsing blood that was falling out of them like rain. Like it's creepy, but like really well done. And yeah, I mean, they got, the 4 different classes. The one you pick at the beginning is very important because you can't unlock another one until you hit, I think, rank 8. So you have to level up to unlock the next class. So it's kind of like Anthem. When you pick your suit, you're stuck with that suit for a while. So this one's the same thing where you've got the samurai, the hunter, the ronin, and the assassin. So whichever one you pick, you're stuck with for a while. But every one of them has, I think it's 5 or 6 different, because they all have a katana. They all have a bow. They all have their charms. And each one of those things can be upgraded. And yeah, me and Willie played it the other night, and, super fun. Had a blast going through some of the story stuff, and then started realizing that each of the little items, now the katana, the bows, the epic charms, your throwable weapons, and your other offset weapon that can either be a throwable weapon or something that heals you, they all have key numbers on them. So like they start off, they're like 5 and 6s, and like they showed some of the photos, like there's stuff that's like level 95. And so it's got the same little like collector aspect of getting the little add-ons for your character, like Marvel's Avengers. And so when we got done with it, we're adding on like all the little pieces that we got after a raid that me and Willie did, where we joined 2 guys online and fought off 15 waves of Oni demons at this giant base, which was awesome. It took like 45 minutes to do the mission.
That is fun,
it was
though.
Amazing. But yeah, we got done with that, added on all the stuff, and like we saw our power level like jump like crazy because we had gone in and we were actually 1 level underpowered for the mission we did. And like we got done with that, and he's like, "Holy shit, this is already better than the Avengers game." And Willie really liked the Avengers game. So yeah, I mean,
funny you mentioned the Avengers game. I have a news story on that when we're done here.
Nice. Yeah, so I mean, if you didn't already buy Ghost of Tsushima, if the open world stuff isn't your thing, that's understandable. Everybody loves their different game types. But definitely, if you have a friend that's got it, check it out, because if you like multiplayer fighting, survival type fighting games, honestly, if you bought Ghost of Tsushima just to play Ghost of Tsushima Legends, I don't think you would be disappointed. From the stuff that I've seen already, just with like the armor unlocks, the new masks, the sword VFX, all the different stuff that you can do, and just even the story mode part of it. Just the story modes that me and Willie ran through with the 2 of us, where the story mode stuff can be done 1 player or 2 player. So you can do it by yourself, or you can do it with a friend. So like if he's not on later, I can go play the story mode in Legends by myself and work on upping my items and making my character stronger and eventually unlocking the other classes. But yeah, if you bought this just for the multiplayer and paid $60 for it, I don't think you'd be disappointed. Like, it's that good. I've never seen a game that basically added an entire another free game with their first update. And then there was also a quick note that Sucker Punch had seen apparently a couple people were having a frequent PlayStation Network and network connection warning pop-ups after the update. Apparently they've already fixed some. They said if you see a no content error, be sure you're logged in the PSN and download the Legends add-on from the PS Store matching your game's region, because of course game regions matter. And they also said that there's already a patch coming for some of the problems that people are seeing. Honestly, I didn't have any problems with it. Once we loaded it up and it started going, it ran for over 2 hours the night before last, and yeah, didn't have any problem. It's a fucking blast. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima Game of the Year.
Nice.
If it wasn't before, they dropped a second game in the same year, and it's the same game.
Yeah, it effectively sounds like you buy one game, you get another component of it for free, and who can beat that?
Yeah, I mean, especially these days.
That might be one of my Black Friday purchases if I can find it on sale around Black Friday or whatnot.
Yeah, if it goes on sale, like I said, if I paid $60 on it now and just got the multiplayer mode, I wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Like it's that pretty. But also the entire Ghost of Tsushima game, which you can now play through and then play through again on New Game Plus, with the add-ons, it makes it even better. So yeah, it's definitely worth $60. If you catch this fucker on sale for under 50, like you're doing good. You'll be very happy with it.
Nice. So I was laughing because you mentioned the Avengers game that Willie really liked. There's some news that came out about that, and I'm not going to dunk on it, but let me bring up this fact first, that it's bleeding PC players profusely. They're having a hard time doing matchmaking for multiplayer on the PC side of the house because a lot of PC gamers aren't playing the Avengers game right now, and I don't believe it's cross-play. So,
okay.
Yeah, so the PC world side of the house having problems. Why I bring that up is there's been a lot of questions as to what Square Enix, or Crystal Dynamics rather, are going to do to get people more interested. We knew that some of the new updates coming out, like the Kate Bishop character and things like that, were projected to bring folks in. But I guess earlier this week they got one of the biggest patches ever for Marvel's Avengers, included some content. But they are saying now that new content, you're going to have to wait for a bit. Crystal Dynamics last week announced several delays to some of its Marvel's Avengers editions. This also includes the next-gen version of the game for PS5 and Xbox Series X/S. However, the most immediate delay folks are going to have to deal with is the game's first new character, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop. She was supposed to be released in October, but the developer pushed the timing back. No specific time frame has been given on the developer blog. They're also pushing back something called The Operation, which was supposed to come along with Bishop's release, including Tachyon Rifts and the Taking Aim missions. So
that's sad. So they're already having trouble with matchmaking on PC because not enough people are playing it, and then the first big news is that they're delaying the first big update.
First big update that's going to have the Kate Bishop update and then new levels and stuff like that. So that's gotten delayed too. And it's okay. So in the grand scheme of things, the pushback and the delay to not have the new Series X or a PS5 version of the game, yeah, that sucks, but it's not the end of the world because you can still play it on those consoles and it'll look just as fine as it does now. But the character packs and things like that starting to get delayed, that's a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, also you got to figure, I mean, I'm assuming Crystal Dynamics, like most companies right now, they're developing from home.
True.
And depending how well those developers set up, I mean, I'd talk shit about it when shit doesn't work, but the Respawn crew at Apex, like, they've done 3 massive updates and changes to the game and events since they've been home, like, working from home, and some other companies just aren't doing it as well as them. So, I mean, it really is depending on how well a company is able to send all their devs home, hopefully send them home with the types of computers they need to work at a game development company, and then get that stuff done while people are working from home during a pandemic. Like, you know, it's not an easy thing to do, and none of these companies were prepped for it. Like, none of them had any clue how they were going to be able to handle this shit.
And it's not all bad news. They're saying there was a post up that gave details on their new plans for the Avengers late game. It mentions first Omega level threat missions, which is going to be called AIM Cloning Labs, will be away in the near future to do high power level missions and get high powerful rewards. The cloning lab will only be available to players through 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Fridays until 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Mondays. So they're targeting the weekend, you know, when people aren't having to work as much for your Monday through Friday 9 to 5ers. This is so that people can dial in on the weekend to try and do these really hard missions, play cooperatively together. However, there's no release date information on those missions. Now, it may sound like I'm trying to dunk. I'm not. This is just some bad news to be prepared for. There is some good news right now. Crystal Dynamics shared they're giving away some free in-game rewards for players via a thank you bundle. It's available until November 5th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. What it provides for you is 1,500 credits, which they note on Polygon.com is enough for a legendary skin and nameplate from the marketplace. 7,000 units, 250 upgrade modules, 20 DNA keys, and a Sarah Garza-inspired nameplate. Those are all for free for anyone who has the game between now and November 5th. You can pick up this free pack.
So what you're saying is the game that I liked the intro scene with Kamala, and then once I was jumping on rooftops with her, I stopped playing it because it was still clunky, but I need to log back in.
I mean, log back in if only just to download the free DLC.
Yeah, to get the photos back.
I mean, The way this game sounds, and I will fully admit, and I'll say what I said on this before, which was I had it pre-ordered for a long time. I played the beta. I was kind of wishy-washy on it. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Then the Spider-Man decision was made, and I kind of said, yeah, this is enough that I'm pushing back. I'm probably not going to buy this game until I find it for like half price or something on sale or something like that. It sounds like they are making plans to try and make the post-game content more interesting. And that was what a lot of people had said in reviews that I read, that the campaign is awesome, but once you finish the campaign, it's literally just a grind fest. And it wasn't that much fun because all you were doing was grinding to try and improve gear on everyone. And there was no new story kind of missions or anything like that. And it was
and I think Willie said the campaign went really fast as well.
He said it was like a 10-hour campaign, roughly.
Yeah, which for a $60 game,
for one of those living games where they want you to get immersed in the world and keep playing after the fact, similar to like Destiny and Destiny 2. I think they need more. It's the same problem that I thought Anthem had when I finally picked it up and played it, which was the campaign was fun, but what do I do when I'm done with the campaign? There was never really a great... The events were okay that they did, and I think Anthem, we can probably just kiss goodbye at this point in time. Supposedly they're still working on an Anthem 2.0, but the last time they posted anything on it was months ago, so my guess is probably not getting that one. It's the danger of buying into these living games is if you buy into it and then people don't like it, you're kind of like, oh, well, I guess this living world just died.
Yeah, because all the updates that they've talked about Anthem with all the stuff they want to do to it, it's like, yeah, that was all the stuff you said it was going to be in the first game. So I'm not buying the fucking second game. You didn't give me what you said in the first game.
Right, and I will say in my case, getting me to purchase one of these living games, that's a harder sell because I like a game with a good single player story where I don't necessarily have to worry about trying to matchmake and find people online to play and stuff like that. So, like the campaign to the Avengers game sounds really interesting to me. That sounds like something I would enjoy. But it doesn't sound like $60 of enjoyment to me at this point in time, because the post game where it's just a bunch of matchmaking missions and stuff like that, I think would be fun for a little bit. And then I'd kind of be like, oh, it's just repeat the same thing and mash these same buttons. And that's why games like Destiny and things like that and Anthem, once I finish the campaign, I'm kind of like, I don't care as much.
Yeah, building a living game is it's a skill set that not every video game production house has, and some are doing it better than others.
Yeah. I'm going to keep an eye on the Avengers game. I hope that they are able to turn around the PC player base issue right now, because I will say if I was playing on PC and I tried to matchmake and it was taking forever to get a game going, that would turn me off on it too, and I'd probably be, man, the hell with this, I'm done. Hopefully,
nobody wants to wait more than 10 minutes for matchmaking in anything.
Hopefully that's not the case, that they're having matchmaking issues because of the number of players on the console side of the house. I don't know. Like I said, I just played the beta. Willie is really our Avengers expert on the show. And I mean, I guess we could go to Willie to figure out what he thinks about the Avengers. Willie, are you with us? Willie? I'm an ugly fucking child. Thank you for that, Willie. We appreciate it, but that has nothing to do with Avengers. Do you have any thoughts on the Avengers? Anything, Willie? You got anything for us? Willie, you got anything?
I don't care about myself.
That doesn't really have much to do with it, but thanks for that input, Willie. We appreciate it. He doesn't care about himself. I guess he doesn't care about Avengers either.
And he was an ugly child.
And he's an ugly fucking child. That picture just keeps on giving. Thank you so much, Keith, for making that for us.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
I think that does wrap up our news, because we both did double news right there.
Indeed.
We're powering through. We're only 48 minutes into this show. We got plenty of time for our wrap-up segment of What I'm Into, our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and or nerdy things we've been getting into. I'll kick things off. Stuff I've been getting into. This week I have HBO Max still, because it's included as part of my cell phone plan. I realized that the West Wing special was on, so I watched that. And for those that aren't aware, it was the cast of the West Wing, the living cast, plus they brought in Sterling K. Brown to replace John Spencer's Leo McGarry, came and did a live read / stage production of the Hartsfield Landing episode of the West Wing, and it was kind of tied in as encouragement for everyone to go vote, because if you're not familiar, the Hartsfield Landing episode is one of the episodes that takes place during the primary and emphasizes Bartlett's concern and priority towards the first votes being cast at Hartsfield Landing because they're predictors of the presidency and things like that. But it was so interesting to see these people step back into these roles they haven't played in probably 15 plus years and do it so effortlessly, because it's the entire original cast is there with the exception of John Spencer because he obviously passed away. But
so they got Dule Hill.
Dule Hill's back. Literally everyone who returns as their character.
He's the one I think that would shock me the most, just because, I mean, Martin Sheen, Rob Lowe, all adults, all amazing actors that were great in that show. But Dule Hill was like 19 when he did that show, and now he's an adult man.
Yeah, he was like 19, 20 years old. Now he's like 42, 43, something like that.
He was a kid when he did that show.
So I'm sure
Allison Janney, all the rest of them, they're awesome, but they were adults when they did that show.
Yeah. And he actually has a moment on there. They did some stuff in between scenes, like when they'd go to a scene break, they'd have like a taped segment where it was people encouraging you to go vote, like Michelle Obama, Samuel L. Jackson. Nice. At one point in time, they had Dule Hill and Elizabeth Moss, who had done a pre-recorded bit. They're like, yeah, so we're here to represent the younger generation because we were kids when we filmed this. We're not exactly kids now. And Dule Hill's like, yes, I'm told this is lit AF or something. And making fun of the fact that they're all grown up now and they're not the young generation. But if you liked The West Wing, it's really fun to go watch. It's staged as like a theater presentation where they pretty much redo the entire episode of Hartsfield's Landing. And it's really good. And like I said, it's just so much fun to see them all step back into those roles that they haven't played in so long.
Max.
It's only on HBO Max. Yeah.
That's the only problem.
Yeah.
I think it's the one streaming service I don't have access to.
The only reason I have it is because the version of my cell phone plan I have comes with a premium channel for free, so I said, give me HBO. Nice. Now, that being said, when I decide to pivot off of AT&T probably sometime soon, I will then lose HBO Max, which is a problem because that's where John Oliver is, and I love Last Week Tonight. It's a pretty fantastic show. So if you have HBO Max, I really encourage you to go watch the West Wing special. It's really good. If you loved The West Wing, you're really going to enjoy it. It's a nice nostalgia blast, and it's great to see them all in those positions again. And part of me then goes, man, I really wish Sorkin would get his West Wing spinoff that he talked about wanting to do at one point in time that he kept pitching to NBC, which was Sterling K. Brown as the new president, and reaches out to Jed Bartlett for advice on something so they can kind of sort of bring in some of the old cast of the West Wing in a new modern take on the West Wing too. I was like, that'd be cool. It's not ever happening.
Nobody writes political intrigue like that man. That show was so good.
Yeah. It has certainly a different feel to it nowadays, and let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So, also, reading The Boys. I bought all 6 omnibuses when they were on sale in Comixology. I am halfway through the Volume 6 omnibus, which is the end run of it.
Oh, damn. You tore through that.
Oh, I tore through that crap. It's really good. I've really enjoyed it. It's a fun read. And I'm happy that having seen the television show, it didn't really spoil anything for me in the first omnibus and a half, but it kind of gave some insight because the TV show is inspired by the books, but it doesn't really directly take a ton from the books. And I'm not complaining about that. I think it's awesome because both products are something I really enjoy. Although I have a really hard time not reading Butcher's voice in my head as Carl Urban.
Yeah. Now when I read it, it's Carl Urban.
Definitely Carl Urban.
Wee Huey in my head is still Simon Pegg.
Right.
Which was the dad in the show. But yeah, the original character that Derek Robertson, which is hilarious, when he drew The Boys, the first issue, he was looking for inspiration for characters. And when he did Wee Huey, he had seen this kid on a couple of shows in England that nobody knew. And so he used Simon Pegg as the model for Wee Huey because nobody knew who he was.
Right.
And like 2 months later, Shaun of the Dead came out. And then everybody knew who he was. And he's like, well, it looks like Wee Huey now. It's not changing.
And the best part was then Simon Pegg is Wee Huey's father in the TV show. And you're like, okay, I can live with this.
Which worked good. Yeah, the only thing I love was they asked about on the post show, on the last episode wrap of the post show for season 2 was, what do you want to see next season? And I said the only way that the boys can step it up next year and go even crazier is one word: Hero-gasm.
Yeah.
Just saying that. Just I want to see season 3. They should do Hero-gasm.
Oh, jeez.
If people think the show is crazy now, if they do Hero-gasm, that will fucking twist heads off.
Yeah. Oh, it sure as hell would. Other stuff I've been getting into. Picked up Borderlands 3 because I was able to get a copy for $8. It'll come in the mail. For both my wife and I, we both got a copy of Borderlands 3 because it's something we can play together, and those kind of games are best played cooperatively. And the nice thing I saw with that is Borderlands 3 is doing a free day one patch for 4K, all new visuals and stuff on both PS5 and Xbox Series X. That'll also give 4-player split screen, 4K, 60 frames per second, all new visual packs, things like that. It was pretty sweet. So like $8 for Borderlands 3, even if I only play it for a little bit, we don't actually end up beating it. Totally okay with it. Plus I get free updates for the new Xbox when it comes out. I mean,
Yeah, plus, I mean, you'll get a laugh or two for $8 out of a Borderlands game.
Right.
That's worth it.
Now my wife has never played Borderlands games before, so it'll be interesting in that regard.
See how she responds to that world. Because,
Yeah.
it's a special kind of humor there.
It sure as hell would be. Other thing I got into is, so I have an Xbox Series X pre-order secured through the Microsoft Store. I then went on the Series X subreddit. I guess it was Thursday morning or Friday morning. I can't remember. As I was spinning up my virtual machines for work, and people were reporting that if you went through the GameStop app, you could get the Series X or S All Access bundle through the app. So I went on there and successfully pre-ordered. But it was $500 flat for an Xbox and 2 years of Game Pass Unlimited, which is not what the All Access Pass is supposed to be. It's supposed to be pay $35 a month for 2 years or whatever. But evidently, people have been asking GameStop in their support section and on Twitter, they're going to honor what they did there. So in theory, I currently have 2 Xboxes pre-ordered. I'll wait and see if the GameStop one's actually going to happen. But it's a Series X Xbox and 2 years of Game Pass Unlimited for just the price of the Xbox. I think it's too good to be true, I think. So I'm not canceling my pre-order on the Microsoft Store yet, but if it looks like this GameStop one is going to go through, I will cancel the one in the Microsoft Store unless there's someone.
Don't cancel, just give it to me.
Yeah, just give it to you.
I'll use it. I mean, if you send it, I'll use it. I mean,
So So it's a good deal, number one. That's why I wanted to do it. Number two, we probably could have talked about it in the news, but didn't, is that if you hadn't been paying attention this last week or so, Microsoft and GameStop signed a deal where they're going to be working together now, where I guess Microsoft's going to be redoing a bunch of their infrastructure on the back end, moving things over to the Azure cloud. And if you read the fine print on it, they've also made a deal with GameStop now where GameStop will get a cut on all digital purchases made on an Xbox purchased through GameStop. Meaning if you buy your Xbox Series X or S through GameStop and then buy a bunch of games digitally, GameStop then gets, we don't know what, but some cut of those digital sales for selling you an Xbox. And why I bring that up is this new bundle that magically appeared only on the GameStop app was after this partnership with Microsoft was established. So a bunch of people are wondering, does this mean GameStop's going to slightly prioritize or more emphasize Xbox sales now since they're getting a cut of digital purchases, or because they have this partnership that Microsoft just opened up a crap load more of hardware for them on day one to ensure that they could have them in stores? It's an interesting model of Microsoft working with the people that are on the floor basically to get their product out there. I don't know if that's actually how it worked or not, but it's interesting now that GameStop's getting some kind of cut off all digital purchases from Xboxes purchased directly through GameStop.
I mean, it's one way to possibly keep GameStops around, because like that was a store that was not doing well. So
Right.
They start getting a cut from digital sales, and then maybe Microsoft starts being so mad about them being resellers because they're selling Xboxes. Like, it could be the best of both worlds.
It's an interesting play. These bundles showed up like within a week of this new partnership being announced. So a lot of people are going, I wonder if this is just because of the partnership that they're able to basically sell an Xbox with free 2 years of Game Pass or try and entice more people to buy through Game Pass or something like that. Nobody really knows. Everyone's just kind of scratching their heads and waiting to see whether their pre-order gets canceled. So I have a pre-order. I have 2 pre-orders. I only intend to keep one, but it may be up until like launch week that I figure out which one I'm keeping.
Indeed. Yeah, 'cause I mean, the one special was already good enough to where you were buying the Xbox and getting a year of the Game Pass and basically saving what did we figure it was 20 bucks on
yeah.
the math. And so now you're getting a second year's worth of the Game Pass.
Well, you got 2 years.
If it's correct.
Xbox All Access, you got 2 years of Game Pass with, but it was for a cost of $835 total, whereas if you bought them individually, it'd be $855. This bundle that they put on their website that we all think is inaccurate, we won't get, was pay $500 for an Xbox and then get 2 years of Game Pass Unlimited effectively free with it.
Oh wow! So this would be a way
this
better
is a
deal.
way better deal than the All Access paying $35 a month. But it's so good, I don't think it's going to happen. And I guess according to the subreddit, they still had these Series S versions of that bundle available online. So 2 years of Game Pass Unlimited is roughly $350. The Series S is a $300 console. So people were going, just buy the console and sell your Game Pass to your buddy for $200 or something like that, and he'll be getting a discount.
No doubt.
Because evidently they just give you 2 redeemable cards, 1-year cards of Game Pass Unlimited with it.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so in theory you could just flip your Game Pass Unlimited or something if you wanted to try and ease the cost of your Xbox. No one
be like getting the Series S for half the price, basically.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. The Series X for half price or the Series S for free, because the Series S is a $300 console.
It's $300.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's not bad.
But again, I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. I think we're going to get closer and closer to launch, and it's going to be either A, they cancel a bunch of them, or say B, there's no way we can fill all of these at launch week. You're going to have to wait like a month until these are available. And then it's a question of, in your mind, is it worth waiting a month? And I would probably wait the month and cancel my Microsoft pre-order if my GameStop one was guaranteed with that stuff in it.
Yeah, or GameStop says, one of our employees wrote this wrong and put it on the website, so we're deleting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, evidently you could still get it through the app. It did not allow you to purchase through their website, which was the weird thing. It could only be done via the app. It was very strange. I don't think it's going to end up happening, but yeah, I had to try. What's the worst that happens? I charged some money that never hit my account. Whoop-de-doo. It doesn't do anything to me.
Yeah. As long as you're not out dollars. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Other stuff I've been getting into. We've been playing a crap load of Among Us. I've been playing a bit on my own. And then on Tuesday and Thursday night, we probably had about 10 people play, but no more than 6 or 7 max at a time. And then Thursday night we played for about 2 hours and had 10 people for most of that. So we started playing games with 2 imposters. And it was a ton of fun. And like I mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to try and do some more Among Us nights coming up. Probably Tuesday and Thursday again this week. Just going to float it out there to see who all is interested. But if you're listening to this and interested in playing Among Us with Anthony, myself, Willie, some other friends on the Gonna Geek Network, and some friends of mine, and friends of ours in general, follow us on social media or just keep an eye on our social media. The next time we have a game starting up, we'll let you guys know, and you can come play with us. It's real simple. It's not hard. We'll basically share with you the code for the room, and then we'll ask you to go over to the Gonna Geek Discord and join the Among Us voice channel there. And if you want to get ahead of that and get on the Discord now, go to GonnaGeek.com/Discord, and you can interact with us, other Gonna Geek community members, and other Gonna Geek podcasters on there. GonnaGeek.com/Discord.
And just know, Chris is always sus. And the 2 times I've been spaced, I was not the imposter.
I didn't end up being imposter that much the second time around, thankfully.
No.
But like I said, it's exhausting being the imposter that many times in a row because you're like, how the F am I going to make people not suspect me?
8 out of 9 games in a row, right?
Something like that. It was insane.
Like there was like 1 game in there that you weren't the imposter, and all the other ones you were.
Yeah, so it makes it really hard to play the game because everyone's automatically going to distrust you. So you're like, oh, what the hell do I do? And then you really got to play mind games, and you've got to make people think it's Willie, like I did one point in time, where I'm like, it's totally Willie. He's been bitching about not getting it. Now he's trying to blame me because you all think it's going to be me. And then they spaced Willie, and life was good.
That's true. We killed him.
It was a good frame job. But that's what I've been getting into. Anthony, how about yourself? What you been getting into, buddy?
Let's see. I watched the pilot of Hellstrom last night. The new series they dropped on Hulu. Really good. Great acting. Some really good special effects. For those that don't know, the original comic was Damien Hellstrom, son of Satan. So he was this crazy demonic character who is the son of the devil, but kind of wants to be kind of a good guy in comics. And they did a show of him on Hulu, which the whole first season's on there. And it's dealing with his family, his mom that's in an insane asylum, a sister that also has some type of superpowers. They introduce a whole bunch of stuff, introduce a bunch of characters, kind of set up the world, and you don't really get like a lockdown of what exactly everybody can do yet. But it's a really cool show. They play it off more like Hellstrom feels more like Constantine than like a crazy supernatural superhero level thing. Like he's not running around like Blade just blowing heads off. It's more of like kind of like a detective show. But yeah, it's really well done. The pilot was really interesting. So like I know I'll be watching the rest of that series because it's at least just the guy playing Hellstrom. He's just fun to watch, and like he's a real snarky bastard because of course he's the son of the devil. So like he gets to be an asshole. That is his character. So yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, definitely. If you're into that type of supernatural type, Constantine or Supernatural, the show itself, anything like that. I think if you like that, at least watch the pilot. It'll give you a good idea of whether or not you like that show.
That's on Hulu, was it?
Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Hulu, and they dropped the whole first season, I think, on the 7th.
Nice.
Which, yeah, I'd forgot about it. We were looking for Halloween stuff to watch last night, and we watched the Books of Blood movie. They did a movie based on Clive Barker's Books of Blood, which, if I remember correctly, was an original anthology series, which is where Hellraiser came from. But this is some of the other stories from the Books of Blood. They kind of intermingle 3 of the stories into one movie. That was really good, super creepy. Had a couple of jump scares where they actually forcefully don't make the sounds lead up to the jump scare, so the jump scares actually work. Like twice I went, oh shit, like if something happened while I was watching it. And yeah, me and the girlfriend were like, I did not expect that to happen.
That's
like,
awesome.
There's a couple nice twists in it. So yeah, for the Halloween season, if you're up for some Clive Barker, some fucking creepy, spooky shit, like there's some really good scenes in it, some really gross scenes, and some really just solid acting. I don't think I know the name of any actor in the movie, and it was good credits to credits. Like it was really entertaining. Speaking of the girlfriend, got a nice hookup. Lucky for me, her daughter works at Hot Topic, and so now I can have someone pull pops for me when they come in.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Even the really popular ones, they're only allowed, to pull one. Like, they got to follow the rules. But, yeah, they just released, like, a big stack of the 2020 Fall Convention ones. So, I got my hands on a red goblin.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, all the rest of them are cool looking, but, like, he's on his glider. It's Norman Osborn with the red symbiote on him. Like, it's just gorgeous. So, yeah. Thank you, fashion. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, so it's nice having it in at the shop. Yeah. Yes, I do happy addition to my collection. And then playing Ghost of Tsushima, playing Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Got another one of the badges done, and I did I finished the aftermarket tracker, so I've done all the unlocks in the aftermarket tracker in Apex Legends. Probably not going to finish all of the badges that you can get in the limited time mode because it was 1 badge for damage, 1 badge for kills, and 1 badge for wins. I got the badge for damage because I'm sitting at like 12,000 out of the 10,000 you needed. For the second badge for kills, you need 100 kills in the LTM mode, and I'm just not that player that gets a ton of kills every time I play. So I'm sitting at like 28 kills after 2 weeks, so not getting that badge. And then the third badge is to get 10 wins, and so far I have a goose egg. So probably won't be getting that third badge. But been enjoying that. Just the Flashpoint limited time modes is awesome. They added these large bubbles to the map where it was a generator creating it would regen your health and then regen your shields if you're in the bubble and you haven't been shot in the last 7 seconds. So it made combat really interesting because like if you pushed and then went to back off, you had to wait for the game to heal you because in this mode they removed syringes, they removed med kits, they removed cells and batteries. So like Octane could still regen himself, Lifeline could still use her dock and regen health for the teammates, and Watson could still put up her machine and regen shields. But unless you had all 3 of those players on your team, you needed to be inside of a bubble to heal. And so it was a very different way of playing the game. Made it fresh again. Like I dropped into probably 200-300 matches of the Flashpoint limited time mode and had a blast. Like it's been really fun. And now within a couple of days, I think we're getting the new. They're redoing Shadowfall from last year with new updates. I just saw that on Dexter Toe they put out an article about the new changes to it to where last year during the Shadowfall event, it was before the introduction of Revenant, where we had evil Revenant basically talking shit to us in King's Canyon at night, and you played a mode where 60 people dropped in solo, and you had to live long enough to get to the dropship. And so then when you shot other people, those people turned into shadows. So you became a zombie version of your character. You could run really fast, you could claw through doors, but you had to like run up and hit people and claw them to death. And part of the problem was that people would, for getting the badges, you had to get a certain amount of kills in shadow mode as a legend. You had to escape a certain amount of times as a legend. And then you had to get a certain amount of kills as a shadow, killing the actual legends. And so it got to the end of the event, and people would jump in the game, and they needed to get wins as a legend. And so then if they died and turned into a shadow, they would just disconnect.
Oh.
And so then you have the end of the game, and you have 7-8 people that are still legends with their guns, and there's like 4 of us as shadows trying to attack them. And it really only works when it's waves of zombies. And so, yeah, like it became problematic. Apparently a lot of that's been addressed. And so in this update article I saw, they've added wall running, double jumping. The climb is now infinite, just like, which I think the infinite climb was the same as before. But yeah, as a shadow, yeah, you can wall run, double jump. They increase the range of the melee attack. The shadows now regenerate health, and they regain their health on finishers. And the shadows, it says, shadows die when the last living squad mate is killed. So apparently now it's going to be squads. So I don't know how that's going to work, where if one member in your squad dies and they turn into a shadow, do they have to wait to play until the other 2 members of your squad die? So yeah, so I'm interested to see how they do that. But yeah, so we have part of the problem was that it was 60 solo players before. So now it looks like it's going to be you go in as squads, and it says shadows can also revive down squad mates.
Ooh.
So yeah, if you're still be able to play with your 3-stack, but in the shadow mode, like, you know, they're making it interesting. Respawn's doing what they can to keep me coming back for every goddamn limited time mode, every event they do, man. Like I don't think I've ever had a game that's changed so much in the just over a year that it's been out. And like, yeah, it's a fucking blast. None of the Call of Duty, I hated fucking Fortnite, but Apex it always brings me back. There's always something else. And they just did a nice little event during the limited time mode where you could unlock mini missions to meet the new legend that's coming out in season 7. And so I got that done, and it gave you access to an anti-gravity unit in the game.
Nice.
Which was really cool. You could turn it on, like it just, it pops you up like 60 feet in the air. So it's not like you're like killing people with it or anything. But yeah, it's just a nice little add-on to where if people didn't want to do it, they didn't have to. But if you wanted to go do these little side missions, you unlocked a couple of things, went back to the firing range, watched a video, and met the new legend. And like you actually see her on camera, she's talking to you and talking shit to you, which was awesome because she's coming to the arena next season. So yeah, been playing a bunch of Apex and enjoying it and looking forward to more. But other than that, yeah, I went on a hike yesterday, so my legs are sore. My butt kind of hurts just from walking 2.5 hours, I think, uphill on a trail and then there and back. So we probably walked, it was a couple of miles into the woods. It was really fun. Like we only saw a couple of people. It was a mile. It was about an hour out of town. So, it was like there and back for like 5 hours total. And yeah, came back exhausted and dirty and took a shower and felt great. My feet were sore, but it just tells me, I need to get off my ass and do a little more hiking. Because yeah, I actually miss doing stuff like that, going outdoors and actually, I live in Idaho. I'm up in the mountains. Like, hitting nature every once in a while is nice, and it's there. And so yeah, it's went and did that, had a blast. I'll probably I'll be lazy today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be fine. But yeah, my legs hurt. My feet were so sore on the way back. But I mean, yeah, no, I got lucky, busted in the new boots, and yeah, no blisters this morning. So the feet are sore, but they're not like in pain. So nice. I can take a little muscle soreness. That just, I've been sitting on my butt for months, so it happens. I ain't been doing much. I ain't been working out. So when you try to get back into something, like the first little bit is always going to be the most painful. So yeah, we did Jump Creek 2 weeks ago. We did Charcoal Gulch Trail yesterday. So hopefully, maybe next week or the week after we'll do something else. But yeah, keep my butt up and moving. Yeah, had fun. Yeah, me and Jana had a good time. So yeah, nice. I'll keep doing that. Been enjoying it. And yeah, I need to get my butt up and moving again. I've added too much weight while sitting on my chair playing video games. So being stuck inside this whole quarantine thing, I really took to it.
Yeah, right.
not the healthiest thing. So
Yeah. I mean, how my dad pointed out to me when I was talking to me there, he goes, "This year sucks." He goes, "We got stuck in our houses just as the spring was about to start. We lost spring. We're going to lose summer. We're going to lose fall. And they're going to let us come out again probably when the winter starts again. So we get winter and house for a year. That's all we get."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you're right.
And for people that really, really love the outdoors, I mean, it definitely sucks. And then, I mean, it's going to be the first year that we really don't have a Halloween. Like, it's so weird that, like, nobody's dressing up or going anywhere because no one's having parties. So...
Yeah. Hopefully people aren't having parties. That's part of the problem we have right now.
Nobody with a functioning brain is having a Halloween party this year.
So 37% of the country is going to be having a Halloween party.
Yeah.
So before we shut things down, we should probably throw things over to Willie. Willie, what you been getting into? What's your plans? I'm buying an Xbox. Wow, Willie. You guys heard it here first. Willie's buying an Xbox. He's not really, but this will test whether he watches the show after the fact or not, because he'll probably get mildly offended that I suggested he'd be buying an Xbox.
He'll probably get one eventually.
Yeah, maybe. So before we shut this thing down, I guess a friendly reminder, we do stream this live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over on Geeks.live. That is the official streaming home of the Gonna Geek Network. If you're there right now, you can scroll down the bottom of the page and see a calendar of all of our upcoming live events. The next live show, I do believe, is the official GonnaGeek.com show that records on Monday, October 19th at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. The other thing we'll be giving you a friendly reminder about, I've harped on it a lot, Among Us, we're going to be playing again probably Tuesday and Thursday night. Stay tuned to the social media. We'll let you know when we're doing that and how you can be a part of it. You guys are all welcome to come play with us and scream that people are sus and throw people out airlocks. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, and if anybody's interested, I think I might be re-upping my stream schedule and doing Dead by Daylight live from my PC Mondays and Wednesdays 3 to 6.
Nice.
I think is the idea I'm going with starting this week, and actually, yeah, because like streaming
3
on
to
that
6
Tuesday
your
and Thursday
time,
night,
correct?
Yeah, 3 to 6 Mountain
Okay.
Time. So it'll be 5 to
5 to 9. No.
5 to 9 Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 3 to 6 Mountain Time. Because yeah, I figured that starts at 5 p.m.
Yep.
Eastern Time. So that's what most people are off and doing stuff. Yeah, I need. It's like I'm sitting on my butt unemployed anyways. Like there's no reason I shouldn't have been doing this for the last 6 months, except I'd kind of been depressed. So fuck it.
I get it.
Yeah, like
I get it, man.
A lot of fun this week streaming. So yeah, I'm gonna try to really kick back onto my Twitch channel. I've actually started. I drew an emote that I don't know if I'll end up using or not, but like at least it was, I did a little bit of artwork on something. And yeah, I'm gonna go. I got I think what was the game I got? I got damn it, I downloaded Knock, N-O-C-H. So I have a demo for a horror game called Knock, and then yeah, I got Dead by Daylight on the PC on Steam. So yeah, I'll be going back and re-upping my Twitch stream and streaming at least twice a week going forward. So yeah, the idea right now is Monday and Wednesday, 3 to 6 Mountain Time. So 5 to 9 Eastern Standard Time.
5 to 8. 5 to 8.
Or 5
Yeah.
8. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Math is hard. Math is hard, guys, okay?
That's why I just say Mountain Time, because everybody's like, oh, I'll just say Eastern Time and you can figure it out. No, fuck you. I'm going to say Mountain Time and you can figure it out. Because I live in the goddamn mountains.
I used to live in Mountain Time, and I live in Eastern Time.
And nobody ever says Mountain Time. None of the radio stations, fucking nothing. Nothing ever. It's on this time Eastern and this time Western and this time Central. Oh, fuck you.
I used to live Central Time also. I've just never lived in Pacific Time.
I've lived in Pacific. I don't think I've lived in Central.
I lived in Oklahoma. That's Central Time. I don't like Oklahoma. It's boring.
Center of big nothing.
I know, right? I was like, where's my mountains? I'm a mountain boy.
Yeah. There are no mountains in Oklahoma.
No mountains in Oklahoma. I guess.
Sounds like corn.
Yeah, right. On that note, I guess we're going to shut this thing down and say thank you so much to everyone that did join us today. I know Draftsman was in the chat room. If there were other folks in there, I apologize. I was not monitoring the chat room as close as I normally do. But thanks for.
Draftsman's the only one I saw.
Okay.
Thanks,
well,
Draftsman.
Thank you, Draftsman. Thanks for anyone who downloads this after the fact, catches any of the video replays, things like that. We will be back next Sunday, live, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, Geeks.live. I think that's it. Got any final thoughts before we get out of here? We got like 10 seconds.
Go watch a scary movie.
There you go.
Watch scary movies.
thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.